During '99, during NATO bombing of Belgrade, we were running to this techno club Industria and freaking out and thinking that we were so cool because we are dancing and the bombs are falling. And now I kind of understand that sensation and feeling of that moment more as actually fear, because you know, when I think of my breathing at that time, of my heartbeats, of my physical dynamics, you understand that I was actually dancing from fear. But at the same time, it was the idea to be together with a group of people. So it was like a protest. Instead of shouting on the streets, we were actually shouting in ourselves. Basically, I was just interested to do different dance floors difference itself in the way people move, individuals and collective, and what is the choreography of this time, what is the choreography of the time that is coming, and can we somehow say that these dynamics are mirror of the social-political environments, and maybe we can predict changes or maybe not. But it's a lot also about, what moves these people on a dance floor or what does not, why they don't move. So it's also about non-movement, which is pretty much present in most cultures at the moment. For me, more interesting is when you observe the crowd from a bird's-eye view. Yeah, it seems like a bunch of bodies on a dance floor, but still the individuals do pop out, and these individuals stand out because of the way that they move, because of the way they maybe don't fit the crowd, or maybe sometimes they even move the crowd itself.
Every time that we produce an interaction online, every time that we open our Facebook and we scroll down, we are producing capital.
You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out.
We are in a paradigm in which we understand our relationship still as if we are the users of these platforms. What we are proposing is to reverse this understanding towards embracing the position of we, the workers. So we are the ones who are producing the resource that is being extracted in this industry of big data. We need to find forms of collective political organization to try to fight for our rights. This is why it came with the idea of the Data Workers Union.
The revolution will put you in the driver's seat. The revolution will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live.
To have a healthy democracy nowadays, and we are all the time speaking about the crisis of the European Union, we should be speaking also about the crisis of the Workers' Union as a fundamental part to have a healthy democratic process that also supports and is struggling to protect the rights of the workers. And particularly now in this new big industry that is big data, we need a form of political organization that is also protecting these rights.
So when you start to think about design without the market economy, so being detached of the economical project, then you can start to think about what is the responsibility of design. The thing is, design, as it formulates, is an ethical point of view. Design should also formulate the politics of design, and the only way to do that is for design to start to handle what is complexity. The only way design can evolve as a sane discipline is to start to mediate complexity. When you start to handle complexity, you start to be strategic, and then you start to be at the table where the decisions are made. And this is the only thing we need, and this is the most difficult thing to do. But we start to go out of our workplaces and to meet people, actually, because most complex thing we're working on is humans.
At first sight, there doesn't seem to be much relationship between farming and industry, but industry produces pollution, and pollution affects crops. So a change in industry affects farming via pollution. The man-made world consists of a whole complex of subtle relationships like that. Change one thing, and it sets up a slow and complicated chain reaction.
Yeah, I think ethics by itself is very easy to mystify. Yeah, when you look at innovations, at TNO we are working with technology readiness levels. So we are building up an innovation, and after the building up periods, most of the times it's 3 years, we are focusing on a certain kind of technology and implications of that. You need to think about the implications for society. Are you ready for market? Not only for the market like in a commercial point of view, but also societal way. So are you doing good to society? In a democratic society we have certain values, democratic values, and those are based on ethical values as well. Like what is it to be a human in a democratic society? What kind of responsibilities do we have towards another human being? Like personal responsibility for the other as an other human being, like the fundamental rights we have. We have the most important questions about ethics not figured out, because then we have an answer about what is the truth about the world or something, but we have a system, and that's a system of law. And I think we can use the system of law next to the innovations we are making. So the questions about ethics are already for a long time shaped in our system of law. You can see there's a normative ethics, but you also have the foundations behind the system of law, and we have that as well. So every choice you make in your algorithm must be a good choice or the best choice possible. And maybe in the end it has a negative effect on society. We cannot be for sure because we are still in a research period where you have technology readiness level, but we need to reflect on that. And if we do not reflect and just think, okay, if you don't know, if I don't know what the effect will be, I don't care. Or if we don't know, now people might not see it, and that's a very bad thing, I guess, because then you are creating a black box.
Privacy is a cornerstone of freedom. Without question, the digital era in communications technologies will heighten concern about the sensitivity of personal information that can be collected or disclosed about individual citizens, and the ever-increasing pervasiveness of such data collection.
We kind of ended up in a way from this promise of the internet, of freedom, of connection and everything. We actually developed into a almost feudal system where the powerful corporations are the feudal lords, and we are kind of the peasants that serve these corporations' interests. We are in a very perverse, dystopic situation where we share our networks and our communication with a multitude of companies that extract profit from our networks, from our communication. It's really important to form communities, to get together with others, to literally form unions or join unions and make political demands. We need to be able to export our data from the corporate platforms, from the big companies, for example Facebook or Skype or SoundCloud. A second important demand is the right to privacy. This is a human right, Article 12, human right to privacy. It's right now absolutely not respected anywhere on the internet, literally, unless you take self-defense measures and encrypt everything and use encryption technology. The right to disappear. So if I leave a certain company, for example, if you quit your Facebook account today, it's not really that Facebook deletes all your information. It's all still there. Half a year later, you can log in again, everything is there. Your network, your friends, your posts. In our democracies, in our administrations, in our public life, there should be a policy that free software is preferred. Italy, for example, has such a law. It's also important, especially in Europe, we have a concept of public service media, like our, formerly National Broadcasting Association, that are in most cases really under some kind of democratic control. So we also advocate that these organizations arrive in the 21st century and also provide infrastructure for open, decentralized networks that enable citizens to communicate, get better informed, and participate more also in our democracy. The blockchain is right now a very hyped topic, and if you follow it a little bit, there's also big banks and big power players from the financial industry investing and kind of experimenting and looking into the topic. A friend of mine who's running an online music streaming service for artists as a cooperative model with blockchain technology, Resonate from out of Berlin, resonate.is, very interesting for musicians. He mentioned once that in his view we are now at a similar turning point as in the turn of the century, 99, 2000, early 2000s, where the internet was in between. Does it go into a more open direction, or what's going to happen? It can be again a corporate controlled blockchain world, or it can be a liberating, decentralizing, self-empowering technology that we use.